Good evening, everybody. It's your boy, Reg Noy, and you all know just how much I hate doing intros, so we're going to just skip all of that and go straight into today's itinerary. I'll be honest, it's been killing me inside waiting for Sunday. There's been so much shit that's been going on that I've been wanting to talk about, and this list, I shit you not, is not even half of it. But that is without regard. Just as a quick summary of everything that's been going on, there's been new news on No Game No Life for the first time in a fucking decade. That's fantastic. I'm very excited about that. So, the saga of Tanya the Evil is apparently getting a sequel. I found that out a few days ago before this even got posted. I've been meaning to watch it, so I'm excited to hear about that too. But above all else, yesterday, the great word of corporate brainrot started to make its waves across Twitter just a tiny bit. Only a small portion, like 1,000 people or so saw it. But regardless, that is the most attention I and it has ever received. And so I'm excited about that. There are a few videos we're going to be covering today that may or may not fit the bill of corporate brainrot. We'll have to watch them to find out. But two of them, as you could probably guess, are the No Game No Life anime is trending and it is very bad news, and and Proof One Punch Man Season 3 is using AI gains credibility, and a special honorable mention to pathetic power tripping Reddit mod. Yeah, so there's a few things we could cover today, and also, right, I forgot to mention, my Oshi is finally making her return. I am so fucking excited. I've missed that crazy fucking lunatic. Her name is Midas, also known as Core of Midas. And at this point, I'm basically just stalling, waiting to see if anybody wants to come in. But I've given everybody enough of a buffer time to show up, so I will just go grab myself a quick glass of water because my dumb ass forgot that, and then we'll get started. Streaming from your dining room does, in fact, have its perks. So, let's start with Midas's return.
3.
No, thank you. Would you look at this intro? It's fucking phenomenal. How am I not following her on this account yet? Anyways, I am very excited to see her. I've missed her greatly. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm sorry for not streaming as much lately. I've been focusing really hard on making videos for you guys. I have 5 working at once. So that's been keeping me really fucking busy. That and the fact that I got into the horse girl game. So that's been taking up way too much of my fucking time. And I'm very sorry about that. Anyways, so we finally have news on No Game No Life, and I cannot wait to see more of it. Let's get started.
I can't die. We can't fail. All because of me.
I'm sorry, what the fuck was that? No. No, wait, what the fuck was that? What was that voice acting? I'm a better fucking voice actor than that. My sister is a better fucking voice actor than that. My baby sister is a better fucking voice actor than that. No way that's real. There's no fucking way.
Bro, this has to be one of the worst dubs I have ever heard in my entire life. Like, I have watched hundreds upon hundreds of different anime, and yes, I have watched a lot of English dub anime as well. I go back and forth just to see the quality difference.
1 second, let me put in my headphones. So, yeah. No, he's right. I've seen a lot of anime dubs too. In fact, one of the videos I'm currently working on is, in fact, an anime dub versus sub comparison of the anime VTuber Legend. I'm almost done that. But what was that seriously the dub for No Game No Life 0? I'm so fucking glad I watched that sub then.
This is by far the worst dub I think I have ever heard in my entire life. It is actually so horrendous, I can't even believe this is real. Like, listen to this scene for a second. This is bad.
Rot in the dirt, like the useless scrap metal that you are. Kainan Shrog.
What the fuck? I thought it was gonna be about her, but no, she did all right. But Kainan Krog, was that seriously? There's no way that's fucking real. That had to be like, was that speech to fucking text? Oh, yeah. Actually, hold on. This is so bad. I just want to make doubly sure. Let me pull up my stream for a second, and I want to make sure that I can hear it playing. Oh, don't hit the stop streaming button. One moment, please. Okay, got it pulled up on my phone. Let's see. Let's make sure that this tactic is working.
So if you haven't caught on to the issue, let me point this out.
Okay, it's working. Fantastic.
This is an official English dub licensed by Amazon. Yes. If you don't...
Wait, so this dub is recent. This dub just got made. And of course it's by fucking Amazon. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Don't believe me, I will show you. This is their literal player. You can easily tell if you use Amazon Prime for anything. You go up here, it says subtitles and audio. You click it, and this is the options. You have...
It's AI. It's fucking AI. Okay, great. Let's pull up the Corporate Brainrot spreadsheet. Let's pull it in. Invest. Let's search. Oh, my bad. Let's try invest in. Search. And always invest in buzzwords. Thank you, Amazon. What a fucking blessing this is to have you tarnish this absolutely classic film. I mean, we are all so grateful to you for tarnishing this and destroying this.
Obviously, subtitles off, which already comes with subtitles, which you definitely need, because that's just how bad the dubbing is. But secondly, it has the original audio, which you should 100% watch in original audio.
I did, and I don't regret the experience. The voice acting was phenomenal.
Unless you just want to see how bad this really is. But it has an option, which is called English AI Beta. And as you guessed, yes, it is AI dubbing for this entire movie of No Game No Life 0. I never would have expected No Game No Life 0 would become relevant again in 2025 from this, of all things.
I thought he was going to say he didn't think it would become relevant again at all, and I was about to get a little offended there, but no, he's right. This is not what I thought we were finally going to be getting news on the season 2 that they promised us back in 2020. But no, I guess not. I will say though, I will give it this. The AI voice acting is not that bad. I might get destroyed for this, but like hers, this voice here, I genuinely felt that was an actual voice actress. doing a half decent job. Not great, but it was all right.
It's like, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. First off, what's going on? Well, this is Amazon. They're a very big company. And from my understanding, Amazon has been trying to really dive in more into AI as of late. And I feel like this entire situation is more or less that. They want to save money, cost effective. They want to cut out English dub voice actors to be able to English dub with AI. And I feel like there's probably a lot of examples.
I feel like there's a lot of problems with the insinuations he's making right now. For starters, I don't think Amazon is in the business of doing English voice acting. I don't think that's something they're in the business of at all, because they don't make anime, nor do they do any of that. No, this is just a feature that they're trying to add to incentivize people to subscribe to Amazon Prime, so that they can then use those to... fucking hell, I'm already burnt out? Jesus. No, they're just trying to come up with stupid new features to get people to subscribe to Amazon Prime, which is a novel idea, actually. I don't hate that. I don't hate that idea of, but the execution is flawed and also kind of stupid. Just because you don't hate an idea doesn't make it any less of stupid. And honestly, actually legally questionable now that I think about it. There's not just ethically, but legally questionable because this is going to affect how the product is perceived by people. And if they perceive a terrible AI dubbing, like for example, Kanade from Hololive JP, YouTube has the auto AI dubbing feature for some fucking reason. And I was watching a compilation of Kanade speaking English because she's bad at it, and also it's pretty cute. But I was so confused why there was this stupid fucking voice that didn't sound like Kanade at all over the thing until eventually I found it and I turned it off. Why is that an automatic feature? Why is that what you automatically take us to? And not to mention, she's speaking fucking English. So why would you turn it on? But regardless, no, I think that this is stupid. This is above and beyond number 39, always invest in buzzwords. This time brought to you by Amazon. It is also, as I said, legally questionable because you're interfering with the product that you're licensing to host on your platform for a presumably temporary period of time. And your AI dubbing is not only transforming that product, but also tarnishing or modifying the experience of the thing that you're currently renting. And that is, in my opinion, a problem for a variety of reasons.
Example, that's probably not just AI for anime, but probably for other movies and series probably on their platform. Now, I do want to say, where I discovered this information, how this even happened to begin with, is thanks to Otaku Spirit here. This account...
Otaku Spirit, Amazon's AI dub of No Game No Life is horrific. The random Japanese voices popping in and out is hilarious. So it's not even complete. It's not even... Wait, so there is an official English dub, but Amazon didn't want to fucking... That's what he meant. That's what he meant by they didn't want to buy the English dub, pay the English voice actors. They were... Good fucking lord. Who's the CEO of Amazon? I know it's Jeff Bezos owns it, but there's no way he's still operating as the CEO. Jassy. Oh wait, Amazon Prime. Okay, yeah, Andy Jassy. Jassy, what the fuck is wrong with you? Seriously, right here. Sir, what the fuck is wrong with you? Scarsdale High School? No way this motherfucker went to Harvard Actually, wait, what year did he go to Harvard? Actually, I don't care enough to find out. Yeah, Amazon Prime is not a standalone company, but yeah, CEO of Amazon is Andy Jassy. And this isn't like some middle management decision. The idea to buy buy anime to host on your platform, but to exclude the English dubbing would have to be a decision made up by upper management, high upper management, executive level. This is a plot, not an execution of said plot. So it had to come from the boardroom somewhere. And for them to go through with it, he would have had to okay it, to my knowledge. I'll be honest, I'm not a CEO yet. But to my knowledge of how business works, that is how that would have gone down. And I think that is beyond fucking stupid.
Right here, he posted this clip of No Game No Life 0 and how bad the Amazon's AI official dub is. And this is oh my goodness, it is just crazy how bad this is. It's
No, Rick, I will not be calming down. Shut up. This is horrible in every fucking way.
Horrendous how awful it sounds. But
Thanks
the point of the
for coming
matter
in,
is I first found out thanks to this, and he posted it this morning around 1 a.m., and it's starting to gain traction. A lot of people are starting to talk about it, and then he posted this, where basically Banana Fish also faced the exact same thing, and I want to play a clip from it just for you to hear it for yourself.
Okay, I used to be a big fan of yours, you know?
What's with the echo? I'm not the only one hearing an echo there, right? Rewind, rewind, rewind. Oh, yeah, YouTube. Can you get on that? Please, thank you. Please? No? Fuck you too.
Still good enough as you are.
What the fuck is that?
So, if you didn't catch how bad that was, let me kind of explain. So, that was literally the voice, the tone of the voice, shifting mid-conversation from the same character. Now, here's my personal theory on why that happened, okay? Obviously, quality control is non-existent, but from looking at the movie of No Game No Life 0, and then seeing some clips of Banana Fish that have been circulating now in the anime and manga community, my understanding is that the laugh you just heard is from the original Japanese audio. It's been a long time since I watched Banana Fish, like it's been years, like a very long time. And it's also been a very long time since I watched this movie. However, this movie, No Game No Life 0, actually makes it a lot easier to see the lack of quality control. And I'm gonna play a little clip here from this, because I think this really demonstrates what I'm trying to talk about, with the tone shifting and how they don't keep it consistent. So listen very closely for the next few seconds.
Riku.
So, if you haven't heard, there is clearly the Japanese sound effects from the character making different grunts and noises that are still there for this movie. But the English dub from AI is playing over it. So, the individual that was tasked with not just making this dub through AI, they didn't quality control it and even attempt to remove Japanese sound effects.
Yes, that's very true. However, that is how AI auto dubbing works. This isn't like a full studio recreation. I mean, I'm you guys know, anybody who's listened to me talk about Amazon before knows how I feel about Amazon. But this is AI auto dubbing. This is not a full studio recreation. This is them just replacing the Japanese dialogue with the English dialogue. That's how that works. Now, could it be better? Yes, a lot better. Should it exist? No, I don't think it should exist. I made my thoughts on that very clear earlier. Well, I didn't make it clear, but I expressed an opinion on one of its effects. No, I don't think it should exist. It's fucking stupid. It's a cool idea, really bad execution, and fundamentally stupid and possibly legally wrong. And morally, I disagree with it too. But most importantly, legally, because since one of these motherfuckers cared about morals, right?
They didn't do anything in complete English. They just did basically text-to-speech AI translation. That's what they did with this movie. And so when I take a look at Banana Fish with that little laugh you heard a minute ago, I'm assuming that's the original laugh, the Japanese laugh, that it then wasn't removed and just AI went over it. And if that's the case, oh my goodness, man. That is, like, there was not even an attempt to quality control this product.
Quality control doesn't exist anymore, however. They have so much. I'm somebody who is a strong advocate for funding the customer service department and quality control departments and the oversight departments. I do not like how much they've been skimping out on that these past couple of decades. However, the platform of Amazon Prime and Netflix and all those services are so monumentally large that you cannot quality control inspect every single AI dub. I don't think there should be an AI dub to begin with, but that would take literally tens of thousands of man hours to go through all of those. Just to go through all of them, not to mention oversight, make necessary changes, updates, all that stuff. The whole point of the AI was to get rid of man hours. So there's no fucking way that they're going to be spending tens of thousands of man hours over hundreds of thousands or likely multiple millions of dollars of oversight on their new AI feature. They gave it a trial run, or my bad, this is the trial run. It said AI beta, and they're waiting for the customer feedback because customer complaints are free, but testers, those cost money. And that's something that we've become increasingly more exposed to as the years go on.
At all. These products. Now, keeping it real, I don't know how long Banana Fish and No Game No Life Zero has been like this. Like, I don't know if it's been there for weeks or months, I don't know. But when you take a look, it does say AI beta, so it makes me under the impression it's relatively new. It's a very new addition to Amazon's platform using
It is, like we just covered earlier.
Something like this. I could be wrong here, but that's my assumption. Regardless, this is an official dub. It is, as much as people don't want to believe it. Yeah. Now, I do want to say something. You might have watched this movie in dub, by the way. No Game No Life Zero, because it does actually have an official licensed English dub by voice actors. Now, it might not be perfect. I still prefer the Japanese audio. Gonna just be completely blunt. But here's the thing. There is an English dub, an official.
Yes.
Amazon didn't even use that for this movie.
No, they did not. They, like we covered, like you said earlier, and I didn't realize, they did not do that. They didn't want to do that. They instead wanted to just rely on their new AI so they don't need to buy rights to English dubs, which isn't something I thought was even fucking possible, but now that I think about it, should have. But yeah, this is Andy Jassy. What the fuck are you doing, man?
And here's my reasoning why I think that is. Amazon didn't feel bothered. They didn't want to be bothered to license the original dub audio. They wanted to do it themselves with AI translations. Probably as an attempt just to see how it works out, or to test.
It was to save money. That was why. It was this. They did not buy this movie just so that they could test out their new AI beta. It was to save money. They're doing this on Korean TV shows and movies, Chinese media, probably some Italian media. Seeing how YouTube does it, probably some English-speaking media too, because these fucking AI auto dubs can't tell what the fuck is English and what isn't for some reason.
It's the model, whatever they're using. And I don't know what model they're using for AI translation, but holy crap, it's bad. It's really bad. And I'm not trying to defend AI here, but I'm just going to be blunt about it. I have definitely heard better AI translations, like, in the dubbing. I have. Like, I know we've all heard some probably funny clips here and there over the years. I know it was viral, like, 3 or so years ago, but there was, like, this whole Donald Trump and, Joe Biden, like, AI clips of them talking with each other playing Minecraft or whatever.
I saw those. Those were funny.
It was viral for a bit, at least for about a month. And the voices sounded consistent for the most part. You could tell it was AI, but it sounded consistent. But with this, the model they're using with these different voices, it's not consistent. It goes in and out. It sounds like some weird TikTok AI translation or some weird, like, chat GBT. It does not sound good at all.
Okay, so again, this is something that he's not registering, is that this is AI auto dub. It's just an auto dubbing. It's replacing the Japanese lyrics with English lyrics, which is on its own rather quite impressive, but it is not a full studio translation. It needs actual text or dialogue, and then it replaces said dialogue. It is very, while impressive, basic. It is a very basic, low level, fundamental feature. It can not replace groans, grunts. It can't, or at least not yet. I'm sure someday they'll figure out how the fuck to do that. It's going to be difficult for it to pick it up amongst lots of area backgrounds. It's not redoing all of the sound like a studio would. It's just overlaying different language. It's overlaying the English language over the Japanese language. That's all it's doing. Is he right to complain about it? Yes. Is he wording it wrong? Right. Also, yes. But, yeah, no, that's what's going on here.
Oh, and once again, I'm not trying to defend AI here, but AI voice acting, at least in the dub, has definitely, it's better than this. And so it showcases just the lack.
But again, he's listing examples from either fully started projects, like the AI president's meme. That's a fully started project. There's no background noises for it to confuse or anything like that, because he made it solely for that. And the AI voice acting he's talking about from actual studios, quote unquote, or however the fuck you want to do that, when they're using AI to voice the characters, are done in-house in a studio. They're doing the entire area from the entire sound design from scratch to avoid issues like that. And the AI is simply speaking out the words, which they're then inserting into the product. This is not a studio AI performance. This is simply just, like I said, it's with the YouTube version. It's overlaying it. It's taking the Japanese one, or Japanese language, and replacing it with the English, because it's not building it from scratch. It's not redoing the entire thing from scratch. It's a layer. You got the original Japanese thing on the bottom, and then above that is the AI layered of the English language.
Of effort that Amazon put in this. They didn't just use AI, they used the bottom of the barrel of whatever they could for AI, and did the worst they possibly could with the most cost-effective thing they could with zero quality control. This is just horrendous, and I cannot believe this is being allowed on Amazon's official platform. It makes them look very bad.
Like anything else on their platform makes them look fucking good. I mean, seriously, every single time you want to go see a movie on Amazon Prime, they'll charge you for it. Even unless it's some weird, obscure movie you've never heard of or an Amazon original, they will charge you for that movie. You can't even watch half the stuff on their platform without being forced to watch ads. Hell, you can't even watch their shows without being forced to watch ads.
It looks really bad. I mean, obviously the conversation of replacing voice actors and stuff, that's already a topic in of itself. But I'm just saying in general, allowing something like this of poor quality on your platform is not a good look. And if I was someone that was a part...
They don't care though. They're too big to fail at this point. Hell, Amazon Prime could run at a negative figure for decades and they wouldn't care. Or run at a loss for decades and they wouldn't care. They make so much money from their SEO servers that they could buy up the entire planet over and over again. This is simply just a tactic to get... fuck it.
Of creating No Game No Life, like if I was the original creator or the staff and studio that worked on No Game No Life and I found out something like this existed, I would be offended. I would be offended badly by this product. It is not good at all.
It is
but
bad, yes.
Yeah, I cannot believe this was shadow dropped, and Oh boy, man. Oh man. Oh man, this is bad. Like, this is some next level bad quality. Oh, Amazon. I know you're bad, especially with everything that's been going on with Twitch, but dude, this is, oh my goodness, man. Like,
It's impressively bad.
I can't. I'm just stunned locked how bad it is. I can't believe that this actually was allowed. And I guess they expected it might fly under the radar because, you know, it's an old anime. But it's very likely they're doing this with other stuff, other anime on their platform. And it makes me kind of happy now that Recreators is no longer on Amazon. I would have hated to see whatever type of AI translated dub they would have done to Recreators. Thank Haruhi that we will not have to experience that abomination. I am so...
Wait, is he talking about Haruhi? He's talking about Haruhi Suzumiya, isn't he? That's funny. That's a good reference.
so happy I won't have to hear that and know that exists. But poor No Game No Life. Poor No Game No Life. This is bad. I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, once again, it's real. Leave a comment. Helps with the algorithm. Chibi out.
Yeah, that was a pathetic performance, and I have a lot more thoughts to give on it, but I'm already burning out. I spent the entire day whittling away down on that video for you guys, so yeah, I'm gonna have to conserve energy here. But yeah, no, it was bad, but it's... Blame the CEO of Amazon for implementing the feature and don't condemn the feature itself. It's doing the best it can within the restraints it's been giving. It is not a studio level AI. It's just an overlay meant to replace the dialogue. That's all it is meant to do, and it's pretty bad at times, but overall it's functioning surprisingly well for such a archaic feature in such a being implemented by such a complex system. Now, I guess since we're already on this one, we'll continue with this here, and then we'll move on to this, because I'm very curious at what the hell this is supposed to be about. But first, the saga of Tanya the Evil. I've been wanting to get back into that recently, or I've been wanting to try it recently, and since it's making its return, we'll get into that. Well, I guess I better start watching it soon.
I'm so unbelievably happy about this announcement, bro. Just seeing this key visual alone, just, oh my goodness, bro, it's so good! Like, look, she's playing the piano.
Wait, is this actually a scene from the anime? It looks like it's animated. Good fucking lord. That looks really fucking good, yeah. Actually, I think I might want to. This might include spoilers, so I'm gonna skip straight ahead to this one instead.
Thousands upon thousands of people are crashing out to this anime announcement trailer that came out a few days ago, and one brief scroll down in
Animation Studio World 2, rom-com about two manga artists in high school with zero love experience who enter a fake romantic relationship to improve their works. That sounds fucking cute. That sounds adorable.
The comments just reveals the mental illness on display.
This is why I lie when people ask me if I watch anime. What? Why are they sexualizing minors? Just fucking chill? I mean, that one's a little more reasonable, but... What's wrong with these people? This one's reasonable. This is why I lie when people ask me if I watch anime. There's a lot of reasons to lie about whether or not you watch anime. A show about a romantic comedy about two manga authors entering a fake relationship is I need context.
And I have a lot of screenshots of individuals really just showcasing how
Another shoujo with the most boring black-haired main character and the Gyaru big-tittied miner who nobody knows why she fell in love with him or why is she moaning and blushing while rubbing her boobs out of nowhere. Well, that's layered, stupid, so let's break that down. Most boring black-haired main character, fire enough. Gyaru big-tittied miner. I mean, Gyaru is a thing that exists, and also I don't really think she looks a whole lot like a Gyaru, but that's, I guess, personal opinions. Big tittied, okay, that's fair. Minor, also relatively fair, but also you're hanging up on that a little too much. It's weird. Who nobody knows why she fell in love with him. Well, maybe watch the show and we'll find out. Or why is she moaning and blushing while rubbing her boobs out of nowhere? Because they're sensitive. That it's an erogenous zone. That's how sex works. Is it excessive? Yes. But, I mean, pretty typical for anime standards. Everything in anime is excessive. That's kind of part of the points and part of the appeal.
How they can't separate fiction from reality.
The couple design makes me uncomfortable. I love the height difference, like Lovely Complex, but the girl looks like a young adult and the boy like a child. Okay, so that's not a standard black-haired anime protagonist if he's short. If he's a Shotokan, that's not a standard generic black-haired anime protagonist. That's not how that fucking works, so we got conflicting opinions right off the bat.
This is why I lie when people ask me if I watch anime. You scroll down this one, people are like, oh, another incel fantasy disguised as anime.
He does know who anime is for, right? It's for the people inside who are scared, alone, typically depressed, especially romantic comedies. Like that's how that works.
You have a lot of people just making these awful...
It's escapism fantasy. It's the peak of escapism fantasy. It's animated. That's, again, one of the appeals is that you can watch it with minimizing the real-world correlations because they don't look like the real world. That's...
like comments for this anime announcement. And you're probably wondering to yourself, okay, why are people saying this? Obviously, it's because they're mentally ill, let's just be honest, but why are they saying this? What is the reason for...
now that we draw, okay. There's the title, Now That We Draw. I will be watching this just to spite them.
Why all these mentally ill Karens...
also because it looks really fucking good, unironically.
...are crashing out over this anime trailer. Well, it's actually very easy. So first off, the reason why people are crashing out is because it's the easiest one. There's fan service. The female character has a chest. You see, obviously, some...
The artwork, the animation is kind of scuffed, but in a really cute way. I actually kind of like that. It's slightly pixelated, but in a way that looks really good. Although that's probably just the condensed screen, though. But it's something I appreciate, nonetheless. I'm gonna say I like it.
Physics that are going on, and in this time and age in 2025 beyond the 2020s, thanks to the COVID era tourists that have entered into the anime and manga community, any form of fan service is deemed icky, taboo, and should be eradicated entirely and never ever shown in any form of anime, any form of manga. I've talked about this topic time and time again. We have all seen it. We have all seen the purists trying to come in and say you cannot have anything like this. It's like appealing to the male gaze, all sorts of stuff like that, when a lot of these series are actually written from a female author, which is even more wild that they're going after these stories when it's literally written by a female author.
Yeah, actually, that's something I've been contemplating on myself over these past couple of weeks. For entirely different reasons, but I've been reflecting on that recently too.
And it has fan service-like content in it. But anyways, the point is that the story in general, and the reason why they're very upset besides just the fan service, is because the female character is in love with a short guy. It's a romance set in high school. And so they're legitimately upset about this anime doing anime-like things. Like, guys, look, I'm not acting like I am the most knowledgeable source of anime information or anything, but anyone that has dabbled into anime for at least a prolonged period of time knows that majority of anime stories are set in high school. Hell, even Bleach is set in high school. You have...
These absolutely right here, and there's a few reasons as to why, or a few theories as to why that is. But the one I like to go with the most is I believe that the reason why most anime set in high school, especially romantic comedies, is because that is the most relatable time that writers have for that kind of freedom. I don't want to say too much, especially considering it's such a touchy issue, such a sensitive issue, and I'm not from Japan. You can clearly tell. People actually guessed that I was from the Philippines based on my voice long before anybody's ever even considered Japan. But no, I'm white. If that wasn't clear enough. But I feel like from what I've heard in Japan, it's very different than it is here. You know, the work culture is much harder. The romance culture, while difficult, but it's difficult here and there, it's difficult in a different reason. Obviously, everybody knows about the declining birth rates, the difficult marriage situations, all that stuff. The last time a lot of these creators, this is just a theory that I thought of, felt this kind of freedom was back in high school. So when they're writing romantic comedy stories about characters with a lot of freedom, a lot of romance, they think back to the last time they had that kind of freedom and that kind of romance, which was high school. That's a reason why a lot of them, especially for romantic comedies, and it applies also to other scenarios as well, like I'm not going to go down that whole tangent here, but that is the summary of my theory. There's a lot of other theories to it as well. Some I feel more credible than others, some that are a lot more hostile than others, but that's just my idea on it. That's my thoughts.
Ichigo, Kurosaki Ichigo.
If you're watching this video, hopefully you're here because you want to hear my thoughts on it, and I'm happy to give them. That's why I'm doing this, is I like to give my opinions and my takes on things.
He's in high school and all that. You have many forms of high school shown within the literature of manga and anime. It's a very common theme, not just within romance, but just in Japan for many different stories. It's just obvious. And it's just crazy to me that anime doing anime things is causing such a response from, honestly, millions of people, actually. Like, just this one clip alone has 1.3 million views on it, with thousands of
1.3 million views, 4.7 thousand likes. That is a small...
on thousands of people crashing out. This one has 4.2 million views, as you can see, and there's the same amount of people crashing out as well. Like, if you were to go into, like, the quote retweets, you'll see stuff like this. People just saying,
what a cute character design. Okay, never mind. Wait, what? Why? Okay, this omit is a little suspicious, but because she puts on twin tails, it's automatically creepy.
what a cute character design. Okay, never mind. And it's because the character has a chest. And I'm like, oh, so you're telling me a character can't even have a chest and all that? Oh, and that automatically...
No, I can. There's no way I can word that without that sounding creepy as fuck.
makes her design bad. This is literally what I've been talking about for a very long time now, that you have these individuals that don't just want to come into anime and try to adapt. They want to mold it, change it into their ideal expression. They don't want to adapt to the culture. They want to bend and change the culture itself. It's, as I've said many times, it kind of feels racist, and these individuals do not...
Thank you. Thank you. Somebody said it. Somebody fucking said it. No, it is. It's deeply racist and concerning. One thing to quote a fantastic meme, there's 3 things in the world that I can't understand. Intolerance towards other people's culture, retarded morons, and people that think that their culture is superior above all others. Lots of cultures have different moral opinions and ideas. That is how the world fucking works. And it is annoying that so many people seem to be unable to understand that. Like, For one example, no, that will take too long to get into. Okay, instead we'll just end this with a funny joke. There was an American that went to China on a Chinese tour bus and yelled, "Go back to China" to the guy who was giving the tour while they were in fucking China. That's fucking stupid. And as for what I was gonna say, I already lost track of thought.
Not respect the culture that they're trying to get into. They do not respect anime or manga, and honestly, they're more or less in the anime and manga community because anime and manga is now popular, and it is not what it used to be to where you were thrown into a locker or bullied for even talking about something like Dragon Ball. And before you say there's no way that was ever a thing, yes, it was. In the early 2000s and late 2000s, even in maybe in the early 2010s, if you were to talk about Dragon Ball, you were labeled a nerd, an outcast, and potentially bullied. And
Yeah, that's a incredibly common thing. I'm not sure why anybody would even try to deny that that happened. That you're just one of those stupid historical revisionists. I was expecting a joke for him with him saying it happened to me, but no. Okay, he seems to have actually dealt with people like that before, which is concerning.
so it's actually crazy to me seeing these individuals that, are coming into the anime and manga community and hating the very thing that makes anime and manga. And I'm just like, dude, how to really expose yourself and really give more credibility to not what I have just been talking about, but what so many others have been talking about for a while. There is a reason why there is this active pushback in voice that is currently emerging to the surface of people just tired of these new fans to anime and manga. And I'm not saying all new anime and manga fans are bad like this, but a vast majority of them join in because it's now popular to watch anime and manga, and anything that is deemed like outside the normal or accepted, like Demon Slayer or something, it's icky and should be censored to high hell, so to speak. And it's just legitimately insane to see. I've just been seeing so many people crashing out about this trailer, which is just literally, I'm not even joking, it is a run-of-the-mill anime trailer. Like, I'm gonna be honest, the character designs are cute, the anime looks cute, I'm definitely gonna watch it, definitely something I'm gonna watch.
I like that.
So this screenshot alone would make me watch it. Like, this is waifu material right here. And also, ironically enough, I would not really have known about this series if it wasn't for the amount of screeching that these Karens have been doing for days now. Like, I would have looked at the series, I would have been like, oh, it's cute, it's beautiful, I would watch it, but I wouldn't have thought anything else about it. But the fact that there's been just so much vocal screeching, asking for this series not to exist, to completely be eradicated, you have full-blown mental illness like this, and then
Shonen romance, big titty high schooler slop, how I hate you. Susie, you need to calm the fuck down. Either calm the fuck down or let us see your search history. Let us see what you've been reading and watching. But I don't think you're gonna do that, are you?
yeah, people not being able to like separate fiction
The couple design makes me uncomfortable. Oh, okay.
from reality and all that, people being full-blown hypocrites.
I'm so sick of teenage girls getting objectified getting animes. Okay, A, you need an English class. B, I mean, I can't really condemn that one too much. I mean, it's a fair enough opinion to have as an outsider, but if you're speaking in as an outsider, maybe you want to calm down just a touch. Because it seems like you've been watching a lot of these.
All sorts of stuff going on, and I'm just like, dude, you guys are insufferable. And I think because of the backlash this anime is getting, now that we draw...
If you do have this opinion, I'd like to highly recommend Grand Blue to anybody who does share this opinion. If you are somebody who gets uncomfortable watching teenage girls or teenage boys being sexualized in anime, let's be honest, 100% of anybody who's going to take a vocal issue with it is going to be teenage girls because, gender equality and all that. Watch Grand Blue. It's an amazingly hilarious show. Tons of attractive characters, very funny, and it's set in college rather than high school. See, I'm going to let you guys have your valid opinions, or just opinions in general. But this one does happen to be a mildly valid one. If you are uncomfortable with this, and I don't blame you if you are, I will, instead of saying that your writing should be canceled, I'm going to redirect your attention towards something that you could enjoy instead. You don't like this? That's fine. You don't need to watch it. Hell, if you really don't like it, you can You can badmouth it if you want. Go ahead. Just don't go campaigning to take away other people's fun. If you think something's stupid, you're allowed to say it's stupid. Go right ahead. But no, if you don't like watching teenage girls getting objectified, watch Grand Blue. They're college-aged women, and just as much as there's eye candy for the women, you have to accept the eye candy of the men, too. It goes both ways in this show.
It's going to cause more people to gravitate towards the series, and in fact, watch...
And actually, as you just said, in fact, you get to see the men naked a whole lot more than you get to see the women.
The series, people that never would have watched the series would now watch the series in support of it, because the exact opposite happens. Like, I want to give a good example here. Hogwarts Legacy. You remember the boycotts and the
Please tell me he's going to mention Pipkin Pippa.
Backlash for even daring to stream or talk about Hogwarts Legacy if you were to buy it? Well, I want to tell you, all that backlash, all that boycotting caused a lot of people to buy Hogwarts Legacy. I want to tell you something. Fun fact here. I bought the game because of the boycotts. Out of spite. I straight up.
I bought the game because my trans sister loved Harry Potter and I had a life, so I didn't know anything about the boycotts or anything like that. Not that they would have stopped me, but no, it just happened to be on sale, so I bought it for my sister. And she loved it. She had a great time. Who would have thought?
And I want to tell you, that's the exact same thing that's happening here. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to support the series, watch the series, and know about the series, thanks to these people wanting this series to be completely censored and eradicated. And I'm like, you played yourself. That's exactly what you did. You played yourself, and your screeching has caused this series to reach new heights to where it can become very popular and to make you guys even look more foolish. Dude, seeing stuff like this continuously happen for the most baseline, typical plots of an anime is crazy, and it just gives more fuel to what I've been talking about for a while. But with that being said, the series looks cute. I'm definitely going to be watching it. I like this character design, and, you know, there's nothing wrong with a female character having a pill and all that, and dude, we live in an age now to where if a female character even has any form of chest or anything on, it's a bad character design. I'm like, oh, so you want her to be completely, like, flat? You want her not to have anything? You want her to look like a dude, pretty much? That's what I'm assuming. I'm just like, no, this isn't the gaming industry, and that's what these individuals want to do, by the way. That's what they want to do to anime. They want to turn anime pretty much what happened to the gaming industry and censor female characters to the point to where they just look outright ugly. That's what they want. And we already know that there is definitely a push for censorship within Japan. We have seen a lot of works be censored, and this is another case of that. Listening to these voices are doing everlasting damage to not just anime, but manga as well. But I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, leave a like, helps me out a lot, and leave a comment. Helps with the algorithm and allows my content to appear more in the feed. But,
yeah, no, I'm happy somebody's speaking up about this, and I actually had no idea about this show or anything like that. At least to my recollection, I probably heard about it somewhere. And he's right, these people are not even parasites, they're cancers. They're cancers on anything in the industry that they don't like. And I hope that all of us can start ignoring them very soon. So, what else do we do? Let's try... Oh, wait, no, there's no corporate brainrot involved in this. Let's try... Let's have some...
But do you play ZZZ? No. I really, really love one of the character designs from ZZZ. I like this bitch.
What a surprise.
I like the rat. Ooh, rat.
You're fast. Red. Yes, it was red.
What are we seeing right now? Pippa's a gooner, by the way. I'm not. I'm just amazed at how good the animation is. You wouldn't get it. I like the rat.
Do you get it now? The filthy nature of these gangs? Do you get it now?
Why do rats wiggle their ears? For example, your wiggling is a social signal displayed by female rats during courtship. Female rats wiggle their ears when they are in heat to excite male rats and encourage them to mate. Jane, no! What did you mean by this?
Do you get it now?
It should have been me! God damn it.
I fucking love Pippa. She's great. Okay, let's continue.
I'm 99% certain this is real, and I don't want to believe it, but I know I'm going to check the scene for the episode, and it's going to be there. And it is about to make me crash out. Just, let's look at the scene.
I don't want to look at the scene. Please don't make me look at the scene. I've been avoiding season 3 because I didn't want to relive season 2. Oh my god, I discovered that season 2 existed when I was at a real low point in my life. Like, truly one of the worst days I had ever experienced. Without challenge. Well, I guess if it was one of, there was challenge, but you know what I mean. And so I decided, oh my god, season 2, I need to watch it. And so I binged the entire thing, and it was the most bored I had ever been in a very long time. And as soon as season 3 got announced, I didn't even need to know if the animation was good or bad. I had already resolved to never watch One Punch Man again past the first season. I was going to be a manga-only guy from that point on. And that reminds me, I really need to catch up on the latest volumes of One Punch Man, because I have 5 that I haven't read, not to mention however many have been released since I last got some, which is like 6 months ago.
So you can see Mizuki going in. Bro! How do we keep getting lower? Dude! Stop it! Just, dude! Dude! Oh my goodness, what the hell? How is this possible? Dude! Like, you can't just keep doing this like that. One time mistake, okay. Second mistake, kinda bad, okay. 3 mistakes, gotta stop. 4 mistakes, there is an inherent issue. Throw this in the freaking dumpster. What is this?
This is, let's see here. Let's see if I can attribute this to anything. We got, listen to young employees. The lower class does not exist. Bureaucracy is king. Honorable mentions. This will do for now. I'll keep looking for it in the background, but for now, the customer is always stupid. That's what's going on here. They know that you'll watch it anyways, or at least they think you will. And so they're giving you the lowest quality product they can deliver because they think that you are too stupid to notice or too cheap to care, or both. You are a stupid idiot, and that's what's going on here. I'm not calling him actually stupid, but that's what they perceive you as.
No way! No freaking way that this is actually real. In the same episode, these are mistakes that just keep happening. Dude, this is... Okay. Calm. I know you want to crash out. I'm just so frustrated with this. It is actually making me want to crash out super freaking hard right now. You can ignore, like, you might be able to ignore the issues I talked about earlier this week with the whole having 5 to 6 fingers to the 3 opie. You could theoretically ignore that because of the circumstances of the frames. It was only shown for 0.5 seconds. I even talked about this in my video, that inherently it's not that big of a deal if it's just these in-between frames. But this situation is no longer a situation to where it's like a half a second long. This is a prolonged period to where there's an actual error of just seeing a Band-Aid just disappearing on her face. And once again, I'm going to reiterate this. If this was the only issue with the episode or the season, it would be funny, but people wouldn't care too much. That's just the truth. It would be an easy fix for the Blu-ray DVDs. But the problem is that this is something that systematically is not just happening throughout the entire season of One Punch Man, it's happening in the same freaking episode, within minutes of each other. This, you know what this shows? This gives so much credibility.
Okay, here we go. I found some. For starters, number 2, public image is for sale. They're buying a valuable brand image, and they're whoring it out. But even better is the death of you need to spend money to make money philosophy. They're buying something beloved, and they're using it as cheaply as possible to fuck knows what reason. Like, there could be so many fucking reasons behind this, but the biggest one I can think of would be money. They're buying something cheap and selling it to you even cheaper. And that's what's going on. And I am disappointed with the state of our world, to say the least. It is truly a damn fucking shame.
To a few things. Zero quality control. 100%. There is absolutely no quality control. There is no budget, no effort, nothing focused on quality control, going back, looking at the scenes, and fixing issues. And this issue right here is not an issue that is a 0.5 second issue like what I talked about with the 3 pi to the multi-fingers. The issue here is that this is a prolonged frame. You can actually see her talking that lasts for about 2 seconds, which once again is not that long in the grand scheme of things, but
no, it is. It is a long time. Because in those 2 seconds, there was 50, 60, 70 frames. Presumably, I'm not going to fucking count, nor will YouTube let me. But it's hard to word when you're super fucking tired, but basically the problem, I don't fucking know.
It is noticeable. To the common eye, people watching the episode, it is a very obvious mistake. It is not something that is like, you can easily not notice because it's a 0.5 second frame. It legit is noticeable. It is a very obvious and noticeable thing. And you have individuals that are sitting at the table when they're overlooking this episode and greenlighting it to be produced or go on air to showcase on live TV or streaming platforms.
The reason why they're approving this is because quality assurance costs money. And as much as I hate to say it, anime is an industry with low returns. Now, you could condemn them for getting into an industry with this kind of a mindset, and I wouldn't blame you. But number 38, the profit margin is more important than the profit itself, or as I originally referred to it as, if a market isn't at 90% profit rate or higher, you're not monetizing it enough. Basically, they got into an industry with very low returns. And that is something most of the big names in the industry have been okay with, because the proceeds of the biggest industries, the most valuable industries, are more than enough to make up for all the losses from the failed exploits. But these people are now trying to take the big names and all the success behind them and are trying to churn them out as cheaply as possible to get the most, to get all the profits from it, as I said earlier, as cheaply as possible for as much money as possible. They are taking the number 38, the profit margins matter more than the profit itself. They're taking something beloved and destroying it right in front of your eyes with the sole intention of garnering just enough attention to turn a quick and easy profit. I guess you could refer to this as short-term profits are king instead, but this could have been profitable. Everybody knows that One Punch Man is a very profitable brand and IP. It's not that they're looking for short-term gains, it's that they're looking to maximize the gains that they get overall. They're buying it for cheap and producing it for cheap and trying to sell it back to you on a premium. And I don't like that. I don't think any of you like that either. And I hope that one day people who don't like that can get into these roles and start changing that mindset, even though we know it will never truly happen.
They have to look at this. They have to actually look at the episode and say this is okay. But the fact that you have so many of these mistakes appearing in this episode showcases nobody went back to correct these problems or even make sure there was problems to begin with. Zero quality control. And I'm going to keep it real with you guys. You remember how there was AI allegations? Those allegations are starting to look a little bit more credible with all these mistakes piling up. I would like to also point out, it's not just the Band-Aid that disappears. The chain teleports mid-frame. Like, look very closely.
I didn't notice that until you brought that up, but he's right. It did teleport.
Soon as the Band-Aid disappears, the chain teleports.
Well, then that would actually give a lot of credit to the AI, too, because it's animating things one bit at a time.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually starting to believe that there actually might be AI used for Season 3's animation, because this looks really off. This actually just does not look normal. I mean, once again, it could be an art error, but it does look very odd, especially when you look at all the inconsistencies from the other errors throughout the episode. But the credibility that AI is being used to some shape or form, and they're just not even fixing some of the mistakes or errors with the AI usage, is becoming more credible.
Well, that's because, as we covered earlier, they don't... When it comes to AI, the point is to reduce man-hours. If you have to hire oversight for your AI, that defeats the point of the man-hours in their eyes. But although this scale, it's a much more stupid one, because earlier before it was like an entire platform for just an overlay AI. This time it's an animation AI, and for better or possibly worse, hiring manpower to correct it is even stupider. For various reasons.
Yeah, I'm still...
Like, for starters, we have to wonder just exactly how the AI is working. So is the AI animating chunks at a time and then exporting them as files, which will give credit to the chain disappearing as soon as the chain relocating itself as soon as the Band-Aid disappears? Is that how the AI is working? Or is the AI working one frame at a time? And if it is, that's also a problem. But to correct these errors, if it was animated chunks, then they'd have to redo that whole chunk of video, because you'd have to scrap the whole video file. And if they're doing it, and if it's doing the artwork one frame at a time, then it would have to, well, a lot faster and easier, but they would still have to go back and redraw those entire frames. It's not like a Blender rendition or anything like that. At least I hope not. Either way, those are expensive and costly mistakes, and it would defeat the purpose of using AI for animation if you had to hire man-hours to correct those mistakes. So, of course, there's going to be no quality assurance or fixes to this. On top of that, there's also the... well, you could look at the consumption patterns, too, because a lot of AI is charged based on how much of energy of it you use or what features it uses. If you're rendering things as videos, as video chunk files, then that would be a lot cheaper. But if you're grinding them out frame by frame, then that would be a lot more tedious and expensive rather than just a simple, like, 5-second video footage clip that you're making the AI use. So that would give more credence to the fact that they're animating entire chunks of video, bit by bit, and then putting those together in a times table or time-lapse sequence, which would then, again, make the edits a lot more expensive, because you'd either have to keep repeating it over and over again, or cutting your losses and hiring actual animators to redo that whole section. So that's why they're not...
On the side that supports is just art errors, but I can see now why there is a growing side that believes that AI is 100% being used. Because this is pretty freaking damning. All these mistakes that just keep piling up. And there's other people that are pointing out the way the art kind of transitions and the way certain, like, layers are formatted over each other. It looks very much like an AI was used for some of these scenes, especially with Mizuki. But I want to back up for a second here and just showcase a few things that I think fundamentally makes this just so much worse than it already is. I'm about to get a lot of flack for even showing this one in my video, but I'm not going to sugarcoat things, and I'm not going to act like it doesn't exist and deny that it's not being talked about, because it is. It's heavily being talked about. It's a big topic right now within the One Punch Man community. It's gaining a lot of traction. This post is about to hit 1 million views, but there's other posts that have posted this exact same clip that also...
Is this going to be like the fan animation? The fan animation memes, because those are always great. I love those.
also has millions of views associated with it of people talking about this exact same topic. And so to give some context here, the bottom of this is the official scene from the episode of One Punch Man Season 3, while the top is, you know, the episode or scene run through with AI, I believe Sora. I could be wrong there, don't quote me on that one. So I'm going to play this clip, and then we're just going to look at the differences between the two, and then we're going to look at what people are actually saying. You can already see just how much more movement is in the top in comparison to the bottom.
Oh, good. Oh my god.
That was unnecessary.
Don't you dare call that unnecessary. That was beautiful. That was a work of fucking art. Don't you dare call that unnecessary.
The AI might be something. The AI.
But there's a difference between this. Like, so if this is true, if they really did use AI from what I'm seeing here, it looks like they've been using an AI and artist blend. For the scenes that they can cheap out on as much as possible, they're using, well, standard artists to hire still frame animations and all that other stuff. And for the action sequences, they're using AI to replace the need for those man hours. It's a clever strategy, and I can see why they do it that way. Now, the reason why the actual animation, it looks so bad is there could be a few reasons. The number one most likely reason, and I can't believe I'm actually calling it that, but here we fucking are, is because they don't want the actual animation for the action to outperform the rest of the show that they actually hand drew. There could be a number of motivations behind that, but that's the most likely reason for why they're doing it like that, in my opinion. Because if the action outperforms the AI action outperforms the actual, cheaply still framed conversations, why would that would be a big red flag, obviously. Now, another good motivation or a good explanation could be the AI software that they're using. Like this one, we don't know what AI software they used, but if you're looking for complex animations with pre-written scripts and formulas, then they would feed in the images into that from the manga to imitate that into an animation format. Whereas this one was most likely AI generated from scratch with just a template of imitate this scene but make it better or something like that, or actual commands. That could be the difference.
Is definitely something. It knows what the fans want, so to speak, from Tatsumaki. But continuing on, you can see the night and day difference. I think at this point it's very clear. And so let's just rip off the Band-Aid. Okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna act like it's not true. The AI of this version looks a lot better. I'm gonna be honest. That's my personal takeaway. Yes. Disagree with me? Fine. I know there's a lot of people that hate AI. Fair. But I'm not gonna lie. Looking at side-by-side comparison of the actual episode to the AI, I know AI is referenced to be completely soulless and devoid of emotion. I know that's the common thing that people like to say, and fair. But what is this bottom? It feels soulless. It also feels soulless, like no heart was poured into it whatsoever. It feels like it was thrown together, cobbled together with PNGs, lip flaps, and that's about it. It basically is running on a Snickers bar and a can of soda. That's what the budget of the actual episode of One Punch Man Season 3 feels like. And it feels completely soulless. It does. I'm gonna just say it like it is. And looking at the AI, even if you want to say it's soulless as well, at the end of the day, I'm just gonna keep it real. The top looks better. It does. And I'm not even saying that because of the Tatsumaki leg showing. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying in general the amount of movement to the flow, even if some things might look a little bit off with the AI animation of it, because it's not perfect. I'm not going to act like it's perfect. But it is definitely, it looks better. And I would think though, I'm going to say this because obviously it also needs to be said, if the actual scene, the official anime, was animated like a typical anime, this little segment of the AI moving around would not even hold a candle to an actual scene from an anime. Like, it would look completely inferior.
Yes,
but the problem here is, and the fundamental issue, is that One Punch Man Season 3's animation art is just so below the earth, it is so far down, it's reached the trenches of hell itself, that even AI that can do the bare minimum looks infinitely better than what we're actually getting with Season 3 of One Punch Man. And this gives another conversation to talk about, which I already mentioned, but the credibility of AI usage of Season 3. So let's go on a limb here, and let's just say that the team is using AI to work on One Punch Man Season 3. They are not doing a good job using AI. I'm just going to be honest, because if this is what someone can do with a brief little AI and all that prompt, what's going on with the official? But that makes me believe that that is actually people drawing it, and that's what it looks like, instead of AI being used for it. But with this bombshell, and a lot of people talking about it, we need to look at what the response is from the community. We even have someone like King of Lightning even mentioning that the AI looks better. King of Lightning, a fellow anime YouTuber, is also saying this. Nicholas as well, been very critical of One Punch Man. Also, basically saying it looks a lot better. I mean, you have a lot of people pretty much mentioning that, yeah, they're in favor of the AI. And I feel like this shows a really big shift here on just how bad One Punch Man's...
Actually, oh my... Okay, we're gonna get into conspiracy theories now. We are, and I hate to say it, but I think this might... it's a small chance, but it's possible that this may or may not have been a fucking industry plant. Taking all these beloved animations, all these beloved IPs, and doing them as terribly as possible, so that when you can do just slightly better for infinitely cheaper, do it with AI instead. Everybody was so opposed to the aspect of AI animation and AI artwork and AI voice actors. But look at what's been happening for the past couple of years. People are now starting to celebrate the idea of replacing professional animation and professional voice actors with AI, because the actual actors and the actual animations have been doing so poorly. What if that's by design? What if that was the entire point? Was to destroy the legacy of something that people hold so fucking dearly by doing it so badly that they rejoice when you replace them with AI. I don't want this to be true, and the odds are incredibly slim, because that would involve several massive conspiracies and conspirators working together. But crazier things have happened than the idea of putting in terribly destroying beloved works, so that when you come back in later and do it with cheap AI labor instead, that they all rejoice and become much more open to it instead. That's just what I'm thinking, though. That's a simple little conspiracy theory.
Season 3 actually is in reality. And it doesn't just stop here, because a lot of people have been trying to psyop and say it's just the West that is upset with One Punch Man, and that is a straight up lie.
That is a disgustingly ridiculous fucking lie. Like, that's up there with the people using Google Translate to pretend to be Japanese to say that Japan didn't care about Yasuke. That is right up there with that kind of bullshit.
I want to give some evidence here. So this right here is a Japanese account. You can see it. It's originally in Japanese. Here's the translation. Now, obviously, this could be someone being a fake Japanese account. So let's show credibility of that. So Twitter did a very nice thing a few days ago. You might have heard about it, because I know Moist Critical, Charlie, he made a video on it. But you can now see where the account was made, where the account is based in. And
very excited for that. And I love to see the fact that my account the location of my account was done correctly on Twitter, but Google for some reason thinks I'm in fucking Brazil. Or whatever other country it was. No, I got an actual update with them saying, "Hey, we think your account is from this, so we're going to change your location to this." And I'm going, "What the fuck do you mean? I'm Canadian. Twitter knows I'm Canadian, apparently. I know I'm Canadian. I've spoken about being Canadian a lot. Why the fuck does Google think I'm in some European or a Brazilian country?"
This account is based in Japan, as you can see here, when it was created, where it was connected for the App Store, so the Japanese App Store. So it's very clear that this is a Japanese account. You take a look at this post, it has 8 million views, it's a Japanese account, it has 22,000 likes, almost 3K, retweets / quote retweets, and you scroll down and you see a lot of people not very happy with One Punch Man. They're all speaking in Japanese, as you can see. You can see it right there, translated from Japanese. So this is the Japanese community. This is not the West. This is the Japanese community talking about One Punch Man. So they are very upset with this. And there's a few here, if you look, like for instance, this one talking about how bad One Punch Man Season 3 is. You might think that maybe this is another fake Japanese account. Well, I pulled them up as well. They're also based in Japan and use the Japanese App Store. So a lot of these individuals here are actually real Japanese accounts, people talking in Japanese, legitimately upset with One Punch Man Season 3. So for those that are trying to psyop and say it's just the West upset and are over-exaggerating, don't let them gaslight you. Japan is upset as well. They are not happy with how this season has turned out. It's not good. People find this extremely unacceptable, and it is the lowest quality work that you possibly could give for an anime. And once again, the statement from that animator last week saying that they poured their heart and soul into One Punch Man, I'm just like...
That was fucking ridiculous. Also, no, I'm not going to get into that right now.
Even if that is true, if this is your heart and soul into a project, yikes. That's all I'm going to say. You could be upset with my opinion on that. I'm just going to say yikes. I keep it real here. I keep it 100% real on my thoughts here for One Punch Man.
Is this the best that you can do? Is my response. Is this the best that you can do? And if it is, I mean, that's just sad, and I'm sorry.
And Season 3. So, to make a long story short, this is an absolute dog shit season that continues to prove it reaches new lows of terrible. That you even have this actually airing in the exact same season. This right here is making waves.
What the fuck is that? One Punch Man.
This is being animated this season, by the way. This is coming out. It's called Wand Dance. I've actually made a video on this.
Wand Dance, huh? Okay, 1 second. Wand Dance. Holy shit, it's real, and I guess the spelling first try. Oh my god, that looks cute.
This is also, ironically enough, being made by Studio Madhouse.
Wait,
If
Madhouse?
One Punch Man Season 3 wasn't coming out this season, it wasn't so bad, this would be the memed show. This would be the show getting crapped on continuously. But the fact that this is out and it looks like this, and you have One Punch Man that's getting all the beating, it really just shows. It's just so ironic and cosmic irony that Madhouse released this.
What the hell happened to Madhouse?
But One Punch Man is getting the flag. And deserved, by the way. But it's just so funny. Sometimes I believe we live in a simulation, man. It's just some things line up too perfectly. I'm going to leave it at that, though. I wanted to talk about this. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love you guys. Be safe. Stay healthy. Chibi out.
So... What now? I have so many questions. So is Madhouse doing season 3 too? 2020s. Overlord. Okay, doesn't look like they're doing season 3 of One Punch Man. So who's doing season 3 right now? JC Staff. Oh, no. Well, my bad. I mistyped that. One Punch Man Season 3 animators. Also JC Staff. Okay. So, let's look up JC Staff. What the hell have you guys been up to? Metal Fighter Miku, Maze of Burning Ace, Karakano, If I See You in My Dreams, Starship, Exo Saga. They did Exo Saga? Well, that was actually pretty good. 26 years ago. We got Parappa the Rapper. What? Is there anything else we know here? Shakugan no Shana? These motherfuckers did Shakugan no Shana. The Familiar of Zero? Okay, that was pretty fucking bad, but it's forgivable. What else is there? Shakugan no Shana 2? Okay. Toradora? Certain magical... Okay, well, Magical Index sucked, but I'm guessing if Railgun must have been involved, they must have done Railgun 2, which I fucking love. Yep, Certain Scientific Railgun. Maid-sama. Okami-san and her 7 companions. Oh my god, no fucking way. They did both of these? If you're unaware, I called Okami-san and her 7 companions basically just a rip-off of a Certain Scientific Railgun posed as a romantic comedy instead of an action. Aria the Scarlet Ammo? Okay, well, I think the original was alright, if I remember correctly. It was just the spin-off that was fucking awful. Shakugan no Shana 3, the finale, okay. What else is there? The Pet Girl of Sakura Show? Golden Time? Danmachi? Prison School? Okay, well, let's not get too excited. Sword Oratoria? Last Period? I can't remember if I loved or hated that. Angels of Death. Data Live Season 3, the last good Data Live season. And then they did One Punch Man 2. Same year, by the way. The Demon Girl Next Door. Oh no. So wait. So let's promise. So the last good season of Data Live. Then they did One Punch Man 2, which is fucking awful. Then they did The Demon Girl Next Door, which was fucking amazing. Then they did A Certain Scientific Accelerator, which kinda sucked. Then I don't even want to know what the fuck that's about. But if we're following the pattern, that must be good, because then they have Danmachi Season 2, which was a fucking atrocity. Then we have Food Wars, which I didn't watch. High School Girl, which I didn't watch. A Certain Scientific Railgun 3, which was fucking amazing. Then we have Muko Dreamy, which I haven't seen. Then Food Wars, which... Oh, then there's Danmachi Season 3, which was good. So there was almost a pattern going here. The Duke of Death and His Maid, that was pretty fucking good. Demon Girl Next Door Season 2, which was also awesome. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Season 4, which made me give up on the show altogether. What else do they have on here? No! No! Wait, please! No! Don't do it! Guys! No! They're... Oh God! They're gonna touch Railgun! Oh fuck! Oh no! Wait, did they do fucking Konosuba? Okay, no, only this. Only this, okay. But this was a good movie. I liked that. I liked this movie. That was a good movie. But good God, like they've been... What the hell has been going on in JC's staff? Like they are some of the most beloved shows in anime history. And also some of the worst. But mostly the best. But then again, we're getting into the more recent years where things started to fall off heavily. What the fuck was going on? So what have you guys been up to then? Not a whole lot, it seems. Like, wow, I'm just flabbergasted, I guess, at this point. But no, let's go through Madhouse just to... No, let's not. Let's not depress me any further. Let's go through the pathetic power-tripping meta.
There are few things in life as pathetic as being a proud Reddit moderator. It's a position that attracts the most insufferable hoity-toity dweebs like moths to a flame, and it bestows upon them the tiniest sliver of power, just barely above like a middle school hall monitor, and somehow that immediately goes to their heads and corrupts their already ugly soul, leading to the most embarrassing meltdowns and just outrageous power trips over nothing. And this is a stereotype that's existed for a while, and it seems like it's just the truth of being a Reddit mod. Like, this is just the sad reality of the people that take up that mantle. They think of themselves as fucking Batman, but what they actually are is the goddamn box ghost from Danny Phantom. Anyway, though, I'm blasting that ass with some new hotness here. A brand new mod meltdown courtesy of r/art. It is a pretty fascinating one, and also not its first rodeo. The r/art subreddit's got some hostile mods. So I'm going to go over the most recent one from, I think it was yesterday. And then I also want to give you a little, blast from the past from a previous instance where one of these mods went nuts. But this one I think is quite special. So what happened is there's an artist named Hayden Clay who posted his art on the subreddit. It got very popular, and in the comments he was replying to somebody asking
Well, that's very pretty. I like that a lot.
for more information about his work, and he mentioned that, you can find my work here, and there's also some prints available too. Just a very quick reply to a nice comment. And one of the rules of the subreddit is you can't be like self-promoting your work, so you can't be like advertising prints or anything. So because he used the word prints, it got the whole post removed. Just blasted to the shadow realm. They smited it. So Hayden Clay was pretty upset, so he messaged the mod about it, trying to get further clarity, and maybe he could try and find a way out of this pickle here because he felt it was unjust. There you can see the comment that got him banned. I have a whole mini-series called Clear Boundaries with Prints Available. Just a very offhanded remark about having prints available.
Huh. Yeah,
And it was removed because of that. So he said, "Are you seriously banning me for giving more information on my work? No, I banned you for breaking our rules. But I can also remove all your old posts as well if you'd like." Oh man, this guy's no nonsense, tough as nails. You don't tussle with the muscle.
That was very embarrassing. That was pathetic.
/art mod. Oh, brother, watch out. He's coming down with the iron fist. This is so fucking silly. So, like I said, the rule is like no self-promoing or whatever. Can't be mentioning where they can purchase your art or anything like that. Which he wasn't really doing. It's an offhanded reply to someone that was saying they'd like to have the art in their office or whatever. Like it's such a stretch to even have that be like a violation of their rule in the first place. It is solely because the word print is there. What an unbelievably stinky loser. This guy is working for free as the moderator of a subreddit, and he thinks he's doing the Lord's work here. He's treating himself like he's fucking Jason Bourne or something. Oh my god, it's so sad. I can literally smell this guy through his messaging. I already know when he typed, but I can delete your old posts as well if you'd like. I can see him doing this with his hands like some kind of fucking anime supervillain. Oh, he's such a worm. Hayden Clay responds saying, just delete the comment and move on. Sorry I mentioned the word print. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Wow, that is bad. That is...
said, your history has been removed. You're welcome. He laid...
Your history has been removed. You're welcome.
A smackdown on him. He just poofed away all of his post history. And then he replied again saying, at this point, this isn't about breaking the rules. This is you having some sort of vendetta against me. My comment broke Rule 9. I get that and apologize. This reaction is overstepping boundaries. Which it definitely is. Worth mentioning, Hayden Clay had some posts that were extremely popular, some older posts in his history. Like, I think one of them, according to Dolan Darkus, was even in the top 250 of all time for the subreddit. So having his entire history removed actually is somewhat of a big deal to an artist who has this as a means of showcasing their talent. This also...
Yeah, no, for the entirety of our art subreddit, that is top 250. All of art for this Reddit, that is...
Just to be clear, I think this rule somewhat makes sense to avoid like exploitation for people coming in there solely to like astroturf it for their own gain or whatever. But when it comes...
Oh yeah, no, that's one of the things that made me give up being a Reddit viewer, was just how many times people were posting or commenting in the Reddit subreddits that I enjoyed way back in the day, like 5 years ago or something like that. And all of them, if you ever actually went into their profiles, they were all just fucking shill accounts. They're trying to sell NFT, commissioned art, promote their channels, all that other stupid fucking shit. And it was annoying me greatly.
It's like an individual artist, having this kind of eyes on their art, this visibility is very helpful to them. So I feel like it shouldn't be something that you destroy them for solely because they mention that they could be found elsewhere. Like, I feel like that's something you should want to help these artists that are very talented. But on r/art, it's run like some kind of fucking cult, I suppose. And if you step out of line, well, I hope you're ready to take the big beat down that the mods will give you. They'll take you behind the back of the bar and break your kneecaps.
The old yellow your fucking ass is what he's trying to say. The old yeller your fucking ass.
Metaphorically speaking, of course. I don't think they even know how to throw a punch. They'd probably break their own fucking wrist if they even tried to hit a heavy bag, I would imagine. But this shit is just...
But they wouldn't use their own fists. They would use a gun. Because they get... Oh wait, are they strong enough to pick up a gun, or are they just too flimsy for that?
So unbelievably foul. Like, he has done nothing wrong. He reached out asking, you know, like, what's going on? What's the deal here? He even, like, apologized and said, can you just delete the comment and we can move on? And that was enough to make the Reddit mod go even more Insano style. Like, Jesus Christ. Just check yourself into an institution, buddy. Oh, my lord.
I had a similar story on a Facebook marketplace group chat or whatever the fuck it was. Basically, you're just auctioning things off, and I put down a bid on something, and I wound up deleting the comment because I realized that I didn't actually have the money for that at the time. And so they went and they asked me, oh yeah, did you delete the comment? Yeah, no, I did. I realized later that was against the rules. I'm sorry about that. And yeah, no, okay, well, we're going to still put you on a 2-week suspension from the group. And I'm like, really? I've been a pretty avid participator in your group. I mean, I'm not like buying up everything, but I've made a lot of successful sales here. I've sold stuff here. I've bought a lot of stuff here. I break the rules one time by accident because it was like a reflexive action, and you can't exactly undelete a comment, and you're going to suspend me for 2 weeks. I mean, Whatever. She made my decision to just leave the group altogether for financial reasons really easy, I guess.
I don't even know who the fuck you are. He thought that line went so hard when he thought of it. That's some major main character energy there. Oh! Yeah, Hayden Clay's the one with main character energy. Certainly not the r/art mod who's gone through and deleted every single one of his posts, all because he had the gall, the audacity to talk to him in DMs. He dared try and speak to a mod. Don't you know they are holy, sacred icons of the Church of r/art? You can't just speak to them.
Oh, please. He's not the Holy Church of r/art. All of these people are working overtime. 95% of all subreddit communities are monitored by the same 20 or 30 fucking dudes. He's not the icon of the r/art subreddit. He's the god of Reddit itself. He is managing tens of thousands of subreddits all the time. You should be lucky if he pays attention to you. You stupid fucking imbecile. How dare you break the rules by answering somebody's question? How dare you waste my time when I could be bullying 100 other people right now? Don't you know that we are the Homeowners Association here? In fact, I invented the Homeowners Association subreddit.
Them and question their decisions. And then he replies saying, says the power hungry mod who deleted all my posts because I asked a question. True. You've been reported for harassment. Have a wonderful day. Nice job making this sub a worse place for artists and those who enjoy it. Yeah, the mod reported him for harassment all because he was asking a question in DMs and then just responding to having all of his shit just wiped out in the extinction event of r/art. And now he's been reported for harassment. I already know this mod. His heart was beating so fast. This was probably the most excitement he'd had since the last time he had done this. Like, I bet he was cracking open 4 Mountain Dews, like cracking his knuckles. Time to get to business. He talked to me. Time to remove all of his posts. Also, that report for harassment led to Hayden Clay being banned site-wide on Reddit for 3 days. Pretty cool system they have over there at Reddit where one angry mod can make a complete fraudulent, bogus report of harassment and it immediately leads to a ban for the recipient there, which should...
Wow, that is impressive. That actually reminds me of a few other things. Like, for example, did you know a Disney copyright struck one of my streams? I did a stream on the Incredibles movies where I watched a lot of people who were discussing them and I gave my own opinions on them. I talked about the backstory behind what made those decisions, adding extra context. They copyright struck Ratatouille. Ratatouille was a 3-second clip in a video that had already been cleared for monetization within that, because I was watching other people's videos. That's where all the stock footage came from. A 3-second shot of Ratatouille, and they tried to copyright strike me for Ratatouille. A 3-second shot of it. How long was that stream? Like 3-4 fucking hours? Let me confirm. Let me fact check that. I want to be exact with this fucking number, because that is how mad I am at them. And we'll get to the relevance soon, I promise. This is going to be worth the payoff. Live, and it was a 1 hour, 55 minute long, and 32-second long stream talking about the Incredibles movies. Now, why this is relevant is because that meant I had to dox my real name in filing for the appeals. And I put in a lot of detail into these appeals. Like, I had never been struck before, and I was shook, understandably. And I was also nervous about the fact of having these people have my real name because, you know, I'm faced with a streamer for a reason. I don't want that out there. But then I get a report, like several days later or whatever, saying that my appeal had been approved. And so great, all things done. A couple weeks go by, and I go through my notifications, and I reread the thing, and it says it was approved because nobody had bothered to fucking read it. My appeal was approved because nobody at YouTube could have been bothered to read it. So if you couldn't have been bothered to read my appeal, why on earth did you even bother striking me? Or it gets better. Like, I had reported on Instagram, somebody had posted on their story detailed plans to go to another city and jump a high school girl and violently beat her with her friend. Yeah, two girls. There was somebody posted screenshots of her and her best friend posting details that they planned to go out of town, go to another high school, and just grab a random girl and violently beat her into a hospital. And posting hearts about how much they love their best friend and how supportive they are. Again, the word random was used. And even if it wasn't. So I reported that because that's, a fucking crime and disgusting. And when you know it, 2 weeks later, I get a report back from Instagram. And, we didn't bother to fucking read that one either. Really, because I flagged this as violence. And yes, you should accelerate this to reporting this to the authorities. But they... Yeah, what? What the fuck, man?
What could have happened is this report goes through, someone takes a look at it, they immediately recognize that this mod is unstable and should not have that position in the first place, so they strip him of his mod privileges. That's what should have happened. And if that did, I bet that guy's life would have felt like it was crumbling down around him. Because if he can't enact his power on strangers on r/art, then his life has no meaning. But that is just not how Reddit functions over there at all. I remember over the years it's been kind of revealed that a large part of Reddit is controlled by a handful of these turbo losers, where it's like this tight-knit club of people that have absolutely nothing going on with their life, so their whole existence is dedicated to power tripping on Reddit and controlling it like they're the puppet masters. And I imagine this is one of those kind of people, because it's pretty clear that he can just report someone and immediately they're banned for it. So I have to guess that this mod is part of that group, especially when you consider that his appeal was also denied with the admins siding with the mod's harassment theory here, believing that that was the correct course of action. He needed to be banned for 3 days, all because
he is the admin. I am the Senate.
Because he decided to try and ask a question to an r/art moderator. That's a sin punishable by death on Reddit.
The admin sided with the mod? No. The mod is the admins. He is the Senate. He is the government. He is a guy living off of disability in his mother's basement.
But anyway, as a result of all of this, r/art went into a pseudo lockdown where you couldn't submit new posts or make comments. They have since soft reopened it so you can make comments again. And of course, all the comments are probably what you're expecting, where everyone is mentioning Hayden Clay and how unfair this is, and basically calling for the resignation of this mod as if it's some kind of legitimate position. It's not, and it's also never going to happen. He is never going to relinquish his mod privileges. It is literally what he lives for, I bet. And you can kind of see that because he still replies to people that reach out about this. Even outside of Hayden Clay, there's people expressing their concern. So here's another r/art.
We ban people who don't follow our rules for sure. Cool, but I'm more talking about the way the mod spoke to the person. They just asked a question and they got their history wiped. Not sure what you mean. If you look at the link I provided, you can see the conversation they showed between themselves and the mod. Or they refuse to follow our rules and remove. This is the same fucking dude. I'm calling it right now. This is the same dude. Okay, but like I said, their history was wiped for asking a question. Is that what you do here? I'm not clicking on your link. It's a Twitter link. I'm not sure how this can be productive conversation if we aren't looking at the same information. It's not. And they don't care. I've had, again, extensively similar experiences across various platforms and even entities too, like companies as well, and even... Well, I won't go that far, but...
Mod classic. We ban people who don't follow our rules, for sure. Cool, but I'm more talking about the way the mod spoke to the person. They just asked a question and they got their history wiped. Not sure what you mean. If you look at the link I provided, you can see the conversation they showed between themselves and the mod. Or they refused to follow our rules and were removed. Okay, but like I said, their history was wiped for asking a question. Is that what you do here? I'm not clicking on your link. It's a Twitter link. I'm not sure how this can be a productive conversation if we aren't looking at the same information. And then they got muted. Pretty cool. I'm not clicking on any of your links that maybe go against what I'm trying to express here. You're out of line, Buster. Get muted. Goodbye with you. You're not welcome on r/art anymore for asking us questions and trying to bring up concerns. We don't do that around here. So that's kind of the state of r/art mod team. And I think it's important that you know that this isn't an isolated incident. A few years back, something kind of similar happened, where one of the mods went on a bit of a wacky power trip where they had removed a post from an artist claiming that it was AI art. That artist reached out to prove that it wasn't to try and get their post reinstated. I'm the artist of a painting, A Muse in Warzone. I'm here for complaining about the unfair ban, but I can give you guys the process or the PSD file of that painting. I'm not using any AI support, and that punishment is not right. Sorry for my bad English, and thank you for your time. Here's my portfolio. Take a look. The r/art mod replies, I don't believe you. Even if you did paint it yourself, it's so obviously an AI-prompted design that it doesn't matter. If you really are a serious artist, then you need to find a different style because A, no one is going to believe when you say it's not AI, and B, the AI can do better in seconds what might take you hours. Sorry, it's the way of the world. You've been temporarily muted from r/art. Yes, very classy r/art.
I managed to find the original post on a new subreddit called r/drawing, and the first post here, the pinned comment, is talking about the r/art drama. Hello, r/art refugees. It's like no self-respecting artist say this is now AI art style, so you can't draw on it anymore. That mod must have been a child. Crazy what happened on r/art with this piece. So sorry about what happened at r/art. Oh, fine. Oh, we found one. Sour Ron be peeping. We found no one that's not talking about the drama. I know the entire mod sub has been made private, I guess. Screw that mod. Redditor is being... Wow. But this is really good art, though. I actually quite like this. But still, it's just fucking wild that the pinned comment was talking about it.
Art mod, I can hear your pinky was up when you wrote that reply there. So he struck the post down believing it was AI art. When reached out to and challenged with proof that it wasn't AI, he instead goes, okay, so even if you did paint it, and even if you are a serious artist, I still don't like it. Also, AI can do what you did much better in a matter of minutes, what might take you hours. Sorry, bub, that's the way of the world. Also, you're muted. This happened a couple years ago, and when it happened, this was also a pretty big deal to the r/art community.
I would imagine.
But nothing happened. This mod, as far as I know, is still currently a moderator on the subreddit. Who's to say it's not the same mod that just had this meltdown with Hayden Clay? I think there's a very real possibility, especially judging by the cringe way that they communicate with other people. So I think it's very possible it's the same culprit. Regardless, though, it is so pathetic. Whoever is responsible for this shit here. It is unbelievable to me how often this seems to happen with Reddit mods. Like, this stereotype has existed for a long time about being like this sad, lonely loser who power trips as a Reddit mod, and yet it keeps happening over and over and over again. There is no self-awareness and no fucking shame from some of these Reddit mods. It's tragic. What? It's just so stupid, man. Unreal. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.
Okay, that was Charlie. Let me just copy the link address so I can forward that to you as well, for any of you who want to check it out. Good video, very entertaining drama. And I think we're going to do one more video for tonight. Do we want to do the series? Actually, yeah, no, I don't want to watch that on stream. I'm not sure why that's in here. How about... Well, we've been talking a lot about AI tonight. Let's finish it up with this one.
Okay, everyone, today's story is actually pretty damn big. So here's what's going on, right? Players are getting refunds for Call of Duty this year, and it's not because of the absurd campaign or some sort of matchmaking disaster. No, they are demanding their money back because they're finding the game is filled with AI-generated art that was never mentioned in the marketing. And what matters there is they're actually getting the refunds. But it's not just Call of Duty, because Ubisoft is also under fire. And that's because while we're talking about AI slop, right, the real problem isn't necessarily the output. It isn't necessarily the intent
What does Ubisoft have to do with Black Ops?
that people say. Really, we should start looking at what people actually do, and we should look at the process, because in reality, it's the management of these companies that are getting just as sloppy as the games. Alright, so this year's Call of Duty is once again full of generative AI slop, because whenever I think Call of Duty, I think of piss, filter, poisoned, Ghibli-adjacent fantasy art of some peasants impressing a guard by catching a catfish.
What the fuck are these? This is... Oh my god, I just realized I got so into the Reddit drum I forgot to corporate brainrot it, but let's do this. This has to be... The customer is always stupid. This is the customer is always stupid. They somehow believe that nobody would notice this and that they thought that this would actually look nice in a Call of Duty game. I don't think if I went through every single slide in the presentation, I could find anything more fitting than the customer is always stupid.
Yeah, that's Call of Duty all right. And the images you're seeing right now are basically those of calling cards. They're floating around social media in the wake of the Black Ops.
What? Gumania consume 5 epic or higher rarity gobblegums? No. That's not real. No, 1 second. Gobble gums. Oh, fucking hell. Oh. It's real, and has been around for quite some time, it seems. Kill 10 Ravagers or Elite Zombies while using old Tessie's turret. Okay. I don't even... To have 25,000 essence at once? I don't even want to know what the fuck that means. Have 6 perks equipped at one time. Kill 50 zombies with a single use of the HKD's score streak. I can't even look at the artwork. This is so fucking stupid. I can't even admire how bad the art is.
7 launch, because people have looked at...
What the fuck is this? Like, a couple of these look like they would... If you described it in theory, they sound like they'd be cool, but...
them and thought, oh my god, what the hell is this? It's weird, tonally mismatched stuff that bears all the hallmarks of cheaply produced and barely reviewed generated art. And look, this isn't some blind CAI get really angry thing. No, sure, there's people who could probably do this stuff tastefully. What actually matters is this is a huge set of games where it's not being done tastefully, and that's actually happening at scale. Now, the funny thing about this with Call of Duty is that after the mess of Black Ops 6, audiences kind of expected this stuff, right? We all expected the generic Steam AI disclosure thing. We all expected Activision responding to the news outlets, confirming something that they didn't do anything wrong and denying anything that they could have done wrong. And the reason why is actually because we've already had all of this happen this very year. It all went down back in August, where Associate Creative Director Miles Leslie told IGN that everything Gen AI that people saw in Black Ops 6 was there, quote, by accident, and that was never the intention. And the claim that he makes is that these are basically just tools to help artists, but that the outputs are never to make it in-game. So that would mean that, say, our many-fingered zombie Santa friend was only meant to be a placeholder, never should have shipped. You know, just a placeholder asset meant to sit there and reflect the vibe that the...
Okay, I can kind of see what they're... Yeah, no, generate a template, then go forward with that with an actual artist. I could see that. Kind of. But...
the artists wanted, until eventually a human could come in and replace it. Now, look, I'm happy enough to steelman this guy's position, and I'm all for artists having better tools and less drudgery in their job. But this keeps on happening, and I think that means we should be quite a bit more suspicious. So when I said it keeps happening, obviously that's right for Call of Duty, but it's also an industry-wide thing. First, there's a game that I should love, and that's Anno 1117 Pax Romana. It should be a bright spot in Ubisoft's calendar, but there are problems with the game, sadly. There's an unfinished campaign, some odd art decisions, and for today's purposes, an AI art problem. You see, Anno's art tends to be gorgeous, right? And that's why seeing it replaced with a thoughtless imitation with no experiential humanity behind it is a big nope for me. That's the type of art where, even if it was to look pretty, it just wouldn't evoke a feeling in me. So here's actually what went down with this. Something in these loading screens caught people's eye.
The background art is pretty low quality, unfortunately.
Basically, something was up. They were off-putting. We saw these renderings of somewhat human-shaped shadow figures. And no, this is not a Ghost Adventures episode, just random-ass shadow figures. Now that led to people then checking for the Steam AI disclosure. The disclosure was there, and of course it's a first for the Anno series. Now, I want you to remember that this is all happening at the same time that Ubisoft are catching some flack for allegedly machine translating the German language options for the game. So yeah, the Germans aren't pleased, and I suspect that also
German text localization is still AI generated in the release version. Huh. I mean, there are worse ways for you to use AI. I mean, I would prefer them being properly translated, but if it's a good AI translation, I mean, I wouldn't be too offended by it. But I'm guessing from the context, it's pretty fucking bad.
Stands to the official Germans, by which I mean the government. I say that because the German government awarded Ubisoft a 5.7 million euro cultural development grant in 2023.
Why?
So they probably won't like the look of this weird slop job with the damn German translation. Now,
so wait, the country of Germany gave you over $5 million, and you couldn't be bothered to spend 1,000 of that to hire a translator. Yeah, actually, right. We're talking about Ubisoft, of course.
Admittedly,
how that
that grant's likely because the game's development team is a large German employer, and that would mean that the government would want to back them. But hey, if you're a French publisher making a historical strategy game, do I really have to say it? Don't piss off the Germans. Come on, it keeps on going badly when we do that. Jokes aside, it is a bad look on both counts, and that is why Ubisoft did actually respond to things. So according to them, the offending scenes were just generative AI placeholders that slipped through review. Now, they just slipped in, but thankfully that now they are being fixed. But when you actually look at the fixes, you see they're not done in a way that would inspire hope, because they're just touching up the offending mistakes with what's there, rather than replacing it fully, which I think
this image looks identical.
Suggests that whenever push comes to shove, yeah, they actually are happy to just do the quick, dirty thing and cut some corners. Can't imagine any of us find that particularly surprising. But what's maybe more surprising is just how sloppy they're getting and how far the standards are falling. So look, it's not necessarily the technology itself that is turning people's stomachs. It can also be the use of that technology, and in this case, the sheer sloppiness, the lack of care. Now, we've heard the placeholder excuse multiple times this year. Hell, even Expedition 33. Yes, that game, even it fell foul of it. Basically,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it appears as though Clear Obscure Expedition used generative AI for these textures. Don't see any red flags out immediately. I mean, it could just, unless you're talking about the language, but the language could just be a fake foreign language. I haven't played the game, so I don't know what its writing is in, but
There was an in-game poster that was found, turned out to be a placeholder, and it was replaced a week after launch.
So
I suppose it's the more innocuous of today's three main examples. But here's basically what happens. Devs use generative AI tools to create a almost production-ready asset. They then populate the game. They put those assets in, and you know what? Because they've used the quickly made AI placeholder thing, actually, when the placeholders are in, they probably do get a bunch of the vibe that they're looking for. But then what happens is, there's a release date for the game. There is a rush to ship. And that can mean that those assets may never get replaced. So you can see why they do it. You can even see some benefits over the traditional.
Oh no, I like I said earlier, I think that is a pretty good idea. Did I? Or did I just think that? It happens sometimes. But no, I can see the merit in quickly generating something so that you can fill the area more quickly, build up the more important structures of an area, then go back in and fine-tune the elements later. That's a good idea, and I've done similar idea things in the past. In fact, that's also a common strategy when it comes to book writing too, is that they just write and write and write, never going back, and then only once the book is finished, they go back and rework all the shitty writing they did earlier, when they're just trying to churn out progress as fast as possible so that they can then go back and make the edits later. It's a common writing strategy, and it helps a lot with efficiency.
Traditional style placeholder, which was meant to be so egregious and obvious that you really just couldn't ship them. You know, just a blank texture saying delete me or something. That would mean that people would notice the placeholder is there and it wouldn't get shipped. And sometimes, yeah, a mistake would happen. Something would slip in. Maybe a wrong build is uploaded or human error happens. Now that happens even without Gen AI built placeholders. But when the placeholders, if you were to sort of squint your eye and look at them, almost look like the finished product, then it's a lot harder to get that part of the process right. And look, not everyone hates Gen AI on principle. That's a totally fine thing to think, by the way. I mean, if people broadly did, we wouldn't be praising Game of the Year nominee Expedition 33, which did decide to use that stuff as a part of its pipeline. Right? Not intended to be final results, but as a part of its pipeline. So here's the thing, right? Plenty of people will tell you that if you hate Gen AI, that's okay, just don't buy those games. Right, easy enough. There's tons of options out there. And sure, audiences do have different standards. We actually saw that recently with Arc Raiders, where some people drew their personal line there, others didn't, and that is completely okay. Almost all things are actually a spectrum of belief. This isn't some binary AI good, AI bad thing. But what I would say is that when the product itself becomes messy, or the company doesn't seem to care, or appears to be disrespectful player time, well then it is so much easier to shift a player's position on that spectrum. And that's why even if they do want to use these tools, the industry has got to hold themselves to a higher standard. Because whenever the generative AI placeholder art isn't replaced, and is just tidied or updated, it's actually kind of clear that functionally, those ended up not being placeholders. They actually were just a cut corner that the company got away with. And pretending otherwise, I think, is what's actually frustrating people here. Thus far, we've covered a big reason why people are frustrated, but I'd actually wager it goes.
Okay, here we go. Just be honest. And he's true. That would fall under...
Goes far deeper than that. So let's dive in. Some people are fine with Gen AI whenever it is intentional or feels thoughtful. Now you may remember the Screen Actors Guild voice actor strike. Just before that came to an end, Epic Games unveiled a chatbot-powered Darth Vader NPC for Fortnite. Now Epic used James Earl Jones's voice with his family's blessing, and then they ran it through an LLM trained on scraped internet text, which is why we could have Darth Vader reciting the story of Kingdom Hearts to us.
Very well, Sky. But I will not stop until I get to 200 sentences. The tale begins on the Destiny Islands, where...
Oh, God. And I had no idea that they didn't get his blessing to do that. That never occurred to me. But, no, number 16, incapable of admitting wrongdoings and mistakes. That is the symptom of corporate brain rot we're dealing with right now, with the just
Young
being
Sora
honest.
and his friends Riku and Kairi dream of exploring new worlds beyond their idyllic home.
Bit of a strange thing. Maybe just like how Anno could approximate some Roman art, or Call of Duty could try to ape the Ghibli style, and people were mostly fine with it.
But I'm not mad that they used AI artwork, or that they lied about it. I want to know what motherfucker thought the Ghibli art style was going to look good in a war game. Even if they did do the Skibbity toilet meme, allegedly, I didn't actually see the full boss fight and anybody playing it, but even if they did that, even if it was so completely stupid and erratic and just badly designed, you thought that Ghibli art was going to be a good fit for Call of motherfucking Duty. And even if you're going to use that it was a placeholder excuse, that meant that you still planned on making something that looks just like that as your calling cards. And the people are going to want that and use that. Are you kidding me?
For Fortnite. But from what I can tell, with COD and Anno, it has hit people completely differently. And I think that's what gets us to the heart of this issue. What's different then? Well, I would say Vader was intentional as a product experience. That sounds very buzzwordish, but what I mean is, it was a toy in a live service game like Fortnite. It was dropped, people did unhinged things for the first little while, they found the limits, stuff was patched up, but basically that was kind of the point. Goofy Vader was the sell, and they had permission from all of the major people involved. To be honest, the easiest way I can put this is, it was honest about being a form of throwaway funny slop. And I think that meant that people weren't as outraged, especially because of the permissions. Now, with that in mind, no wonder more people could gel with something like that than, say, the abominable new Coca-Cola ads. Because, Fortnite Vader is a pale imitation, but it's a silly little toy, and that was kind of the point. What Coke were doing with the recent advert that's pissed people off, well, that's just a cheap imitation of a real thing that we actually had, where its levels of glitz and glam and detail and lighting are so over the top that it doesn't feel real anymore. That's a huge part of why it comes off uncanny. It makes it seem like the creatives involved are working for the tool, rather than the tool working for them. And that's where COD and Anno are vital to today's story, because these, in my view, aren't really placeholders. I gotta say, allegedly in my opinion, but you may have heard the term, the purpose of the system is what it does, which does strip away some of the intent and focuses a little bit more on the end product, which here is useful because that's the bloody thing we buy. Because those assets are still in there, even though, when you look at them, they are clearly out of place things that feel cheap. They are just, especially in, say, Call of Duty, stuff. Slop. Almost the definition of slop. And it's clear the management of these studios don't care enough to pay for real art in the first place, or maybe thought they could just cut some corners. And then, whenever it came time to ship their game, they didn't care to make what they had better. Sure, whatever, just do some Ghibli slop. Let's not think about whether that does or does not fit Call of Duty. Let's not think about making an amazing user experience. Let's just shit out something that people will recognize and hope that'll do the job. But as if that's not bad enough, I actually think it's a lot more chilling. I think maybe plenty of people here do actually care, but the system that they're in has no room for their caring. Because they gotta do what they gotta do. And if you ask me, that's what's actually scary here. We've got some of this tech that may end up being genuinely transformative. It seems we're on the cusp of major medical, road safety, knowledge work, and a whole bunch of other improvements. That's the thing, the technology is just a tool. What matters is how we choose to use that tool. And I fear that what could be great progress, and maybe in its best way, could mean more artist tools to make their jobs better, to...
No, it's true. I'm quite fond of AI as a tool, although I will say, just as AI was starting to come out and becoming, big, you know what I mean. When I was trying to find a simple program, I'm talking like a program that's been around for 30, 40 fucking years, is the simplest of programs that you can imagine. I was Googling one, trying to find one I could use for free online, and every single one of them was calling it AI. And all I could do was just, really? That's how I got the always invest in buzzwords, or 1 second. Buzzwords, where is it? Come on. Not you. Okay, fuck off. If you can't integrate buzzwords into your business, talk about them anyways. Number 40, Corporate Brainrot. Every single website was calling it AI. And it's not fucking AI. It is a basic program. Basically, not much more complicated than a fucking stopwatch. And you're calling it AI? That annoyed me so fucking much. And I couldn't... I decided to just not do it and figure out how to do it by hand. It took me months. But I eventually did it just because I was so sick of going through hundreds of listings, all of them calling it AI. But no, I like AI as a tool. I like AI as a tool, as a function, as... Hell, even I use ChatGPT to scour the internet now for me because Google has made that functionally impossible. And I'm grateful that it offers that feature. I wish I didn't need it, but it does. And I'd like AI for other things too, like helping me sync the voices, or helping when I'm editing my videos, and to allow me to do the functions or features that require more precision that I'm not good at quite yet. That would be a very helpful use of AI. But that's not but we're funneling trillions of dollars into this, and none of it is going towards these basic functions. It's all going towards making the world worse or more dangerous or porn for some reason. Can we stop with the AI porn, please? People are being told people don't have water to shower or energy to microwave or to use their fucking stoves. Do you think maybe we could back the fuck off a bit?
Help them be more creative.
Please?
I fear that positive vision will be corrupted by systems of influence that can only see the next cost saving, even most chillingly, in spite of how everyone involved feels. Because at the end of the day, everyone's just turning up, doing their job, under whatever systems they're under. Maybe that's the thing we should really start thinking about here. You know, rather than getting needlessly angry at each other and devolving into stupid internet fights that just waste everyone's time. So let's shout at each other less and be a little bit more strategic. And speaking of strategy, you know who's really good at that? Gaben. He's now got himself a big yacht called the Leviathan. Yes, literally. But for you and me, it's all about this.
Yeah, I talked about that earlier. It was very cool. Anyways, there's a video. I'm going to be calling it a night pretty quick here. Thank you all for coming. I'm sorry I haven't been streaming so much lately. I've been really busy working on pre-made videos for you guys. I should probably start editing my stream clips too into videos as well, but I've been so busy working on the actual original idea videos that I've had little to no time to take care of myself or to keep up with streaming. So... no, that's what's been going on with me. If you enjoyed this, you guys know what to do. It's basic courtesy. Everybody's been talking about it. Like, subscribe, follow. Definitely sharing me around is a massive help. Wish you all a good night. I'm going to finish this up, take my dog for a walk, and then I'll get back to making the videos, okay? Great. Thanks for tuning in.